Hi, I'm Jeff Ludy, the owner of Houston Window Experts, and today we're going to talk about casement windows, or as one lady called them, cranky windows, the kind you crank out. A couple came into the office one day, she had her husband, and they were talking about windows, and she said, I'm trying to figure out what's the cranky window called? And he said, it's called Bob. I'm the cranky Bob. And so we had a good laugh about that. So have you heard of crank out windows? You know, the kind you crank instead of opening up and down? That's what we're going to talk about, because there's people who say, what is a casement window? In fact, if you're like many Americans, you think of casement windows as being windows that don't operate at all. They're like these fixed pieces of glass. And I hear that a lot. People say, oh, I want a casement window. And then when I show them a window that operates, they say, no, not that, a casement window. So casement windows are windows that open instead of going up and down, or instead of going from top to bottom or side to side. They're actually going to swing out like a door. And I'm going to show you how that works. So I'm in our showroom here on West 38th Street in Houston, where we have 20 brands of windows and doors, including Marvin. That was a Marvin window you just saw. And Windsor is one of our products that makes a casement. And since they happen to be side by side, I was going to show you some differences in some of these windows. So this is a casement window, and it's the ever popular black on black color, which is very common right now. A casement window has a lock down here at the bottom. And then you see here it has an actual little handle that when I crank that handle, can you see that opening up? The window itself actually begins to open up, and it can go all the way to 90 degrees in this particular case. This window opens all the way and causes a very good breeze to be able to come through this window. And so people like casements for a lot of reasons, one of them being that you actually get a nice breeze that can come through a casement window. So think about this. If you have an area where you don't have a lot of breeze, like in Houston, we don't get a lot of breeze. Now we do down on the coast, right? And if you go up to the panhandle, you have too much breeze. But in Houston, we don't catch a lot of breeze. And so a lot of times people like a window like this, because what it's doing now is it's extending sort of like a catch, right? A funnel that'll grab what little breeze we have and actually help pull it into a room. And a lot of people, if they have a room with two of these windows, what we'll do is we'll do one casement to open to the right and another casement to open to the left. That way, if the breeze is coming from the north, we open this casement. If it's coming from the south, we open that casement, and that can help direct the wind back into the house. Another beautiful thing about casement windows is that when they are closed, I'm going to close this again, you'll notice that from the outside, a casement window does not even look like it opens at all. I mean, it doesn't look at all like an operable window. So, well, what is the benefit to that? Well, the benefit to that is if people like to think about houses and breaking into houses, they usually look for a window that they can open up, right? Pry it open or something. This looks just like a fixed window, or what we also call a picture window, a window that does not operate at all. So in people's estimation, this is not an operable window, which also makes people not think about trying to break into this window. A window that does operate, obviously the drawback to it compared to a casement is even when fully opened, like this is a Marvin window here, even when I fully open this window all the way, look how much space it has for air to travel through, okay? Only about 45% of the window is ever completely open. Whereas with a casement, you saw that I had it all the way open to 90 degrees. I've got twice as much, if not more, opportunity to catch air when I'm using a casement window. Also, this is really pretty cool. When I open this casement window, if there was a fire in the house, you tell me, of course, you can tell by looking at me that I have not missed any meals, which one do you think I'm going to fit through better, that one or this one? And then people say, well, you've got a screen on that though. Yes, I do, but it is a quick release screen. And in just a matter of a couple of seconds, I can take that screen off and step right through like a magic trick. Isn't that pretty cool? And let's say this was on the second floor and there was nothing to step down to. If I'm coming out this window, right, I'm probably gonna have to turn around backwards and try to be careful that I have something to hold on to. I'm probably not gonna try to just make a jump for it. But on this window, I could actually come, I could sit on the ledge, right? And then when it felt inevitable, I must jump, I could jump from here, or I could even turn around and hold on to the bottom of that and go from there. Hopefully you never encounter that, but casement windows do offer more space for air. They offer more space for you to be able to escape from a fire if there was one. This particular window does not have this what's called a wash feature, but some windows that we sell do have a wash feature. It's a hardware feature where you open the window about this wide, and then you're able to press down on this bar right here, and that unhinges or disconnects the actual sash of the casement window from the hardware, which then allows you to swing that window all the way back out like I had it, but then you can actually pull it towards you as well, so you can actually clean both sides of the window from the inside, if that's important to you. What I really like about casement windows as well is that they're actually very, very efficient when it comes to energy loss and sound reduction. Why? Because it closes like a refrigerator door. I mean, think about this. On all four sides here now, I've cranked it in, I've tightened it down, and then when I pull on this locking lever right here, it actually pulls it in the rest of the way to give it a nice tight drawed seal up against the frame. Casement windows have the best ratings for sound reduction, for air infiltration, and things like that of any operable window. Of course, a fixed window or a picture window is going to do even a little bit better because it has absolutely no moving parts. But in this case, a casement gives you a great look, great ventilation, and it gives you great thermal performance as well. And that's why people love casements a lot. Now, the question is, well, what if I like this look? Am I going to have to use this same look on the whole house? And I know casements cost more money than, say, picture windows do. So how does that work? Well, I'm glad you asked. Right here is a casement window that does operate. Here's a casement window that doesn't operate. There's very little difference. Now, in this particular case, yes, this window does have a radius, and that one doesn't. And this window does have a two-tone trim, and that's a single color. But generally speaking, I can make this exact same window either be a fixed window, no hardware at all, that does not operate, or we can add the hardware to it so that it does operate like this window here does that I just showed you. So let's say you had 4 windows across the front of your house on the bottom that you do not want to operate, right? Like here's the front door, here's the formal living room, here's the formal dining room or a study, and you don't want those to operate, but directly above it you have more windows, and those are bedrooms, and those do need to operate. Well, instead of having to put a beautiful fixed window on the bottom and then having to switch to a double hung or a single hung on the top where they intersect each other, we can actually do the fixed windows on the bottom as casements, fixed casement windows, and then do operable casement windows on the top. And that gives you the benefit of both. Across the front of the house, you get a really nice, good, clean look. You have windows that do not operate downstairs, but then where you need them to operate for the bedrooms, for egress, and also for ventilation, now you have a product that actually does operate. Isn't that really cool? I like that about casement windows. Almost every manufacturer of the 20 brands that we sell does make a casement window. And at some point, you know, if you are considering new windows for your house, you should think to yourself, is this the time for me to kind of not just get new windows, but maybe I want to change the look of the windows. Maybe I want to go from having all of these windows that operate up and down to all windows that are either fixed casements or operable casements. Those are the kind of things that our product specialists could come out to your house and help explain to you and show you options, because there are some limitations, and let me get to the limitations. Think about this. On this window when I operate it, as it cranks out, that thing comes out further and further and further, right? Let's say I left it right there, and then this big windstorm came up and I wasn't paying attention. What is the danger of having something like this sticking out when the wind blows? It can actually damage the hardware or damage the window or damage both, right? So window companies know that. They know that a hinged window that's going to catch wind needs to be in a position to where it has better hardware, stronger frame materials, and that's why casements cost more money, because they are beefier versions of their cousins that do not operate. And that also limits then how wide and how tall they can go. So in most brands, not all, but in most brands, you're going to find that a 3-foot wide by a 5-foot tall opening is going to be the max. We do have a few brands that actually can go bigger. In fact, I'm going to show you one right now. This is a company called Fleetwood, based out of California. Why don't you go that way? I'll meet you over there. And Fleetwood makes this product out of a thermally improved aluminum. This is also a casement. As you can see here, this casement is nearly 3 feet tall, and it is 6 feet tall. Actually, I think that's 7 feet, yeah. And oh my gosh, this thing just silky smooth, real easy to operate, operates like butter. It's just so beautifully made. Multi-point locks on this. You have one handle, right? And the one handle makes this lock engage, that lock engage, the third lock engage, the fourth lock engage, because there's no way you could reach up there to reach that handle up there if it had one up there. So really, I mean, really quality stuff, really well built, designed to operate beautifully, will last forever and ever, but even they know that you need to be careful. It says right here, serious damage can occur if this window is left open when wind exceeds 15 miles per hour. I think they're being conservative, but I can see exactly where they're coming from because this thing's a giant sail, right? I mean, by the time you open this window up. And by the way, this is a small window for them. I just didn't have room in my showroom to show you how big they can go. Do you know they can go like 4 feet wide on these and 10 feet tall? I mean, it's incredible what they can do. And some brands just can't do that because they don't have the structure in place to be able to do it. So casement windows, do you like them? Comment below. Do you need them? I don't know. Maybe we can help you with that. But casement windows are some of my favorites because they look so good, they perform so well, and it's just a real nice way to upgrade and to modernize the look of your home. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. We like to put out videos about products like this all the time. If you're on our website and you have questions and we can help, please fill out the contact form. Either way, we're here to help you, and we appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great day.